All right. Good morning, traders. Good morning, Kathy, Sarah, Roasted, GHS, Mike Allen, Rod, Brad, JA, Lenny G, Rally 2025, and everybody else here early in the morning at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. All right. Today is February 9th, 2025. Good morning and thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody out there in digital land, cyber land, podcast land. Thank you so much for finding value in my content. My SPY pivot this morning, 603.80. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. QQQ, FNGU, SPY made outside days. Bearish engulfing candles closing underneath their bear bullish traps and underneath their 17 EMAs. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute downtrend. IWM made a lower high and a lower low, closing below a bullish trap below its 17 EMA. Diamond down made a lower high and a lower low, closing below a bullish trap but over its 17 EMA. Gold and silver both in uptrends. Gold made a new all-time high on Friday. Silver made an outside day, closing inside the bullish trap over the 17. UNG, USO are in daily uptrends. UNG made a lower high and a lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17. USO made an inside day, closing under a bullish trap under the 17. And the US dollar index is in a downtrend near the 108.7 area. That's where it left off last night. All right, let's take a look at some charts this morning. Move this down. Start off with SPY. All right, let's go to the 10-minute. All right, you can see into the close, we had a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close on the SPY. On the 2-hour chart, you can see right here, we got the yellow line with the candles underneath it. A 2-hour downtrend coming into the close last Friday. Okay, so now on the pivot, all right, so we have this brick right here of wicks right there. So if we get over the brick of wicks and start printing full candles up over that, that's going to be my pivot. All right, so that's like 603.80. So that's a pivot. If we get up on top of that, that represents the high anchored VWAP. So if we take an anchored VWAP, stick it up there on the high, and I'll recolor it. Okay, so if we get over that, start printing new candles, complete candles up there, I would say we're probably going to start climbing this breakdown move all the way up to the breakdown high. All right, so if we start printing new candles up there and we're holding the area, there's a good chance we come out and climb right up this breakdown candle high right there. So there's SPY. That's the plan for today. So we're looking for green erases red. Okay, you're going to have green erases red in, we close down here, so right up over this area right here. So up over overnight high would be 603.85. Okay, that would be your green erases red. Red erases green is going to be underneath 600.37. Okay, so it's red erases green underneath 600.37. Green erases red right up over the brick of wicks in the afternoon on Friday. Okay, so up over 603.85. Okay, so there's SPY. There's your game plan. All right, price action. All right, for the daily candle. All right, notice we got a bearish engulfing. All right, so we gapped up. We slid up just a little bit into that downtrend line, and then we got crushed all the way down here underneath the 17 EMA. Today we're gapping up a little bit here, so we'll see where they want to go. If they want to bullish engulf this candle and rise up over that. So there's the daily chart. Daily is still in a downtrend. All right. We haven't made a higher high yet. So the daily chart's still in a downtrend. If we back all the way out here, we got price action is up in quadrant 4. That is bullish. Price action is up. What closed Friday underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, not so good. Underneath the 17, not so good. This is a big red candle. We're looking for follow through today. If they don't get any follow through, we could probably pretty much hope that they could get things turned around and come back up here. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at it on the 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart, we have an igniting candle down with some follow through. No exhaustion candle yet. All right, so it's possible that this this pivot holds price underneath it, and we continue to melt down until we get our exhaustion candle. All right, so I'm just saying that right up front so you guys know that I don't know if the pivot's going to hold. We'll see. All right. The next stop up is going to be 605. It's going to be right underneath this candle here. Next stop up is going to be like about 605.26, 605.25. Right up there. Okay, so if we get over 603.80, look for 605.25, 605.30. All right, on the 2-hour chart right there. Let's go take a look at QQQ. QQQ on the daily chart. Okay, same as SPY, gapped up, outside day, bearish engulfing. Okay, so got a higher high and a lower low, closing underneath the bullish trap, underneath the 17 EMA, but on top of the all-time high anchored VWAP. SPY did not look that good. We're still up there in quadrant 4 for QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU, same thing, gaps up, higher high, lower low, closing underneath the bullish trap, underneath the 17 EMA. FNGU closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP, closing over the downtrend line, closing over the uptrend line, closing in quadrant 4. That's still bullish up there. FNGU on the daily chart. Today, I am picturing for the SPY an inside day. We might be surprised. We'll see what happens. I'm picturing an inside day. All right, from Friday's candle. We'll see what happens. IWM. Price action for IWM. Lower high, lower low. Closing underneath the trap, underneath the 17, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP. Over the uptrend line, up here in quadrant 3, not in the upper third, it's just neutral. Diamond Dow, lower high, lower low, closing underneath the trap, over the 17 EMA, that's the dots. Okay, that's our 17 EMA. Over the 17 EMA, over the uptrend line, and up here in quadrant 4, that is bullish. All right, let's take a look at our technicals, T2122. You can see we came down into the seller's chop zone and consolidated. All right, meaning probably looking for another meltdown a little bit further. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they can stop it right there and make that higher low. We'll see what happens. This is T2122. T2123 started out the day green. All right, had a little rally up and then sold off for the rest of the day. On Friday, still over this rising 200 SMA, that is bullish. Still moving up and holding the higher ground, that is bullish. Take a look at T2123 on the 3-bar chart. We're closing in. Notice we were down here. See the distance between the 200 SMA and the price action candles down here. You can see we are now closing in on the price, on that 200 SMA right there. Price action moving up and over to the right. That's consolidation. Over prior consolidation, that's bullish. But then again, consolidation under prior consolidation is bearish. We'll see what happens. T21, 23, 3-bar chart. Putting in 3 more green candle bars yesterday. Okay, let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU for Friday. Bullish action in the morning. Okay, rose up. Did a little challenge up here of resistance. Couldn't get through it. And then a sell-off underneath BYOB for the rest of the day to close the day underneath the 200 SMA, but over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's a pink line right there. All right, let's take a look at a few sectors. Let's head back to XLE. It's our energy sector, okay? So price action for XLE inside day, Friday. It's lower high, higher low, closing under a trap, under the 17, under this 12-month high anchored VWAP right there, underneath this downtrend line, underneath this downtrend line, and actually underneath the midpoint. So it's just kind of neutral here. Actually kind of bearish neutral, all right, with price action closing underneath the midpoint. So there's XLE. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG still in an uptrend. Okay, UNG price action for Friday. We got a lower high and a lower low closing inside a bullish trap over the 17, over a 12-month high anchored VWAP. That's bullish. Over the midpoint, that's bullish. Still in an uptrend, that's bullish. The only thing is we're not in the upper third. Okay, so just kind of neutral here. Okay, but those are all bullish environments. All right, so look for this to climb into the upper third and hopefully hold for once. Okay, they have a habit of moving up and giving it up, moving up and giving it up. Like to see it get up here in the upper third and hold. There's UNG. Let's take a look at USO. USO is in an uptrend. It will not be in a downtrend till it negates, till it takes out this low right here, all right? It's currently in an uptrend, although it's been pulling back for the last 20 days. That is a pullback in an uptrend. Remember, a trend is more than 2 or 3 days, okay? We have an uptrend. This is a pullback in the uptrend, all right? So there's USO. Price action, inside day, lower high, higher low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, okay, but over, is that an all-time high? No. Over this 3-year high anchored VWAP right there. So you can see price action from the 2020 COVID has moved up and over to the right. This is a 2-year bull flag right through here. From the bigger picture, a 2-year bull flag. Price action in the buy box on Friday. Picked up a few more shares. Still looking for that uptrend to get really bullish on it. Right now, just nibbling. USO price action, like I said, inside day. Closing under the trap, under the falling 17, but over the 2-year high anchored VWAP. It's just over the midpoint, so it's just neutral. If it gets up here in the upper third or the upper quadrant, that's going to be bullish for me. So let's go take a look at precious metals. GLD on Friday. This is Friday's candle right here, not this green candle. Friday's candle, new all-time high. Today's candle, new all-time high. Okay, so let me just say, Friday's candle, new all-time high. Thursday, they took a day off. Wednesday, new all-time high last week. Tuesday, new all-time high last week. Monday, new all-time high last week. And then a Friday from the last Friday, over a week ago, new all-time high. And then on a Thursday, way back when, new all-time highs. So they've been setting new all-time highs. It's like a new religion. All right, so there's GLD. It's up here in quadrant 4. That is bullish. All right, let's take a look at SLV. SLV is starting to look interesting now. Okay, it's up in the upper third. All right, that's what I said I want. I want to see price up here in the upper third. SLV over, that's a 12-year high anchored VWAP right there, that pink line. Price action for Friday is an outside day. That's a higher high and a lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. Not quite closing in the upper third. We need it to hold up there. I can see this morning we're already back up there. So there's SLV back up here, trying to get back up here in the upper third. All right, they closed under it right there, so that would leave them as neutral. And we'll wait till today's candle completes before we get excited about being in the upper third again. Okay, so there's silver, just neutral at this time. If it gets back up there, it's going to be bullish in the upper third. All right, let's take a look at a few other sectors. Start off with SMH. SMH still in a downtrend. They got themselves in a downtrend, taking out this low right here with this candle there. Downtrend. Since then, they have not been able to complete a higher high. So they're still stuck in a downtrend. It's just a label. Friday's price action, outside day, pretty much like the rest of the market. Higher high, lower low, closing under a trap, under the 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP right there. Up here in the upper third would be nice. You can see we got a good start for today, but they lost it yesterday, closing out of the upper third, so they're just neutral. They got a habit of moving up and giving it up. Let's take a look at XLK. XLK is in an uptrend. All right, they're still in an uptrend. They made a higher high. Here's a high over the 17. They made a higher high that places them in an uptrend. XLK on the daily chart, outside day, higher high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap under the 17, but over the all-time high anchored VWAP right there. You can take this one off. Okay, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. XLK up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. All right, so you got technology is is bullish right now. Okay, let's take a look at XLF, our financials. Financials for Friday, new all-time high for financials. That's bullish, closing up here in the upper third. All right, so financials, new all-time high. Outside day, higher high, lower low, closing. I'll just call it inside the bullish trap over the 17, but over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP right there, XLF. Let's take a look at XLI, industrials. Industrials kind of cooling off. They were really nice up here. They are looking pretty good, really. Yesterday's candle, higher low, higher high, closing inside a bearish trap, but over the flat 17 EMA and over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Up here in the upper third, that's bullish for XLI. Still caught in a downtrend. This is a pullback in a downtrend. They got themselves in a downtrend, taking out that low and that low, making lower lows. Since then, they have not been able to make a higher high over the 17. They get a high up here, but it didn't take out this high. Okay? Since making this lower high, they have not made a higher high. Places them still on downtrend status. Let's take a look at XLU. All right, XLU in uptrend status. All right, because they got a high here. It's over the 17. They made a higher high. That puts them in an uptrend. Since making this higher high, they have not been able to make a higher. Actually, they made a higher high than this, but it is a lower high than this. Since making this higher high, they have not been able to take it out. They have made a higher low down here. Price action for Friday. It's a higher high and a higher low closing inside a bullish trap over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Not quite in the upper third. All right, so not quite. So just neutral. Again, they got a habit of moving up and giving it up, and moving up and giving it up. Need them to get up and hold the higher ground for more than just 1 or 2 days. All right, need to make a consolidated effort up there. There's XLU, still neutral. All right, let's take a look at XRT. All right, here's our retail sector. Lower high, lower low. Closing under a bearish trap under the 17. Underneath the uptrend line. Out of the upper third, so just neutral. Again, they got a habit of moving up and giving it up. See, they move up, they give it up. They move up, they give it up again. They move up and they give it up. And they move up and they keep giving it up. The only thing good is we've got consolidation right here. Okay, over prior consolidation. Okay, that's a bullish environment. All right, but they got to hold this up here. Okay, so there's XRT. All right, take a look at the last one, IYT, transports. Not a bad candle for the transports if that's Friday's candle. Friday's candle, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish cross, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, darn near the upper third. I'm going to call it bullish, making a higher low here, and they are in an uptrend, IYT. Let's take a look at our economic calendar. For today, not much happening. For tomorrow, Mr. Powell's going to speak at 10 in the morning. All right. In the morning, we also have NFIB, Small Business Optimism Index. That's coming out at 6 in the morning. After that, a couple of Fed speakers and Jerome Powell at 10. Okay, not much for the day. Wednesday, we got CPI. That's inflation, 8:30 in the morning. Might want to be hedged on Tuesday evening. Heading into CPI, 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Powell's going to speak at 10 o'clock, right after CPI comes out. Treasury statement at 2. That's it. And a petroleum report at 10:30. Thursday, jobless claims 8:30. PPI final demand 8:30. Natural gas 10 o'clock. And that's it. We'll cover Friday later in the week. All right, so for Max Pain for today. Max Pain is going to be 602. And we got just over one put for each call that expires today. Okay, 602, which is pretty much attainable, so considering we're trading at 603.50 currently, unless it's changed. Let's take a look at earnings. McDonald's going to report this morning. McDonald's is $210 billion. Vertex Pharmaceuticals going to report tonight. $123 billion they're going to report tonight. Other than that, some familiar names: ON Semiconductor, Lowe's Corporation, okay, but nothing that's really going to move the markets, just probably impact the sectors. For a hedge, all right, if you have, okay, not you, if I have, okay, X amount of positions long, all right, let's say I've got some long positions here, all right, then I hedge them by either buying puts or selling calls to hedge it. All right. In other words, if price goes down, all right, these will gain in value. All right. See the negative calls? So those will go down. Those will go down in value, in which case it will bring this up. All right. I will have made money by having price go down, okay, on a negative call. You see what I'm saying? So you can do it one of two ways, okay? You can either buy puts on the SPY. If you have SPY long, you could buy puts on the Qs, being since the Qs are the most vulnerable to the DeepSeek news, which is still undetermined whether it's a credible source. Okay, you could do the Qs. So you could be long the SPYs and short the Qs, and that would help hedge you against a big move in the morning. You know what I'm saying now? Okay, those are two different ways of doing it. You can buy puts, you can buy covered calls, okay? And those are ways of taking care of it. But keep in mind, you can't be long 21 calls and short 4 and expect that to work out. Okay, they have to be pretty close to equal in performance. All right? So you're going to want something that's kind of equal in performance. All right? If you got 21 calls long, you're probably going to want 21, 22 calls short. You see what I'm saying? You can't just do 2 of these and expect it to cover. If we get a downturn, you know what I'm saying, or some follow through on that igniting candle, okay, you can't expect 4 calls to cover your whole position, all right, of 600, well, the 21 calls long, right? Yeah, you want equal amounts. And you can look at the market cap or whatever your position is as far as the value from your buying power that it's using, all right? And you'd probably want to match that same buying power, whatever that value is, to the downside if you were long. If you were long, okay? But if you're short, you know, then you'd want to buy long positions to hedge yourself against price catapulting to the upside. Right, equal amounts. Is TC2000 showing somewhere implied volatility on options or stocks? Well, TC2000 always has implied volatility in the options. All right, so if you can see over here in the options, see if I got it right here. Okay, you can always find implied volatility right there. Now, I had to put that column in, and the way I stick that column in is there's a way, and I'll figure it out just a second here. Yeah, you hit plus, and you hit add a value column. All right? So you hit the plus at the end here, you add a value column, and then you can find, you want to put in implied volatility right through there. Will that help you out, Stefan? And if you want this, I can give this to you. I'll just go ahead and give it to you now. All right, because mine's already got the implied volatility column right in it. All right, so there's mine. All right, I hope that helps you. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so there's the transports. We were doing the economic package, which is right here. Let's finish up with that. We're on earnings. let's go ahead for tomorrow. Coca-Cola, 275 billion. S&P Global, 161 billion. Shopify, 151 billion. Gilead Science, 119 billion. And again, some more familiar names. All right, that's tomorrow. Okay, Gilead Science going to report in the evening. The other three going to report in the morning. For Wednesday, same day as CPI. Remember, Jerome Powell speaking Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Wednesday, Cisco, that's a big one, $248 billion. That's a $250 billion. Okay, they're going to report in the evening. That's technology. Okay, Aplovian Corporation, $126 billion. They're going to report right alongside Cisco on Wednesday. Okay, Equinix, $90 billion. Again, some more familiar names. The Trade Desk, Robinhood Markets, CVS Health Corporation. More familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets like the big boys. Thursday, AMAT, okay, Applied Materials, $148 billion. Unilever, not sure if they're going to report. They haven't decided whether they can commit to that date. Sony Corporation, $139 billion. They're going to report Thursday morning. Applied Materials, which is tech, they're going to report in the evening. John Deere's going to report in the morning on Thursday, $128 billion. Palo Alto Networks, tech, that's going to report in the evening alongside Applied Materials. Okay, again, some more familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. And we got none of the big boys are going to really report today. And you can see on Friday, all right, more familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Monday, BHP, and that's it. More familiar names, but nothing that's really going to move the markets. All right, so the main event this week is Wednesday, CPI. Don't forget, Mr. Powell speaks on Tuesday. I don't think he'll say much on Tuesday. They're pretty much committed to holding where they are, and they're looking probably, the verbiage kind of reads like they want to see what the new administration's going to do as far as tariffs and everything else before really talking about, see how things are working before making a move. In other words, they want to see some data before they start reacting to it. So I don't think Mr. Powell's going to say much. He's probably going to say they're going to be hawkish. In other words, they're going to be looking for any sign of inflation to creep up. But probably as long as it stays kind of mellow, he knows it probably may creep up here and there. So we'll see what happens. And he may come up with some different verbiage on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. All right? All right, traders, that's it. I'll see you guys in about 40 minutes, and we'll open up the markets. All right? Any questions? If not, I'll see you guys in 40 minutes, and let's open up the markets.